16 gigabytes of storage on the new Firestick Max. I mean, it really is cause for celebration. We've been asking for extra storage since the dawn of time, and it looks like Amazon have now finally listened, because the new second generation Firestick Max comes bundled with 16 gigabytes of storage. Now, both new devices, the new 4K Firestick and the updated 4K Firestick Max, were announced today on the Amazon event day. Let's now talk about exactly what's changed, what some of the new features are, exactly how much it costs, and let's compare them with the previous 4K Firestick and the original 4K Firestick Max. And let me tell you, if I would personally recommend upgrading your Firesticks or buying these devices as a new device if you want to start your streaming journey. So let's start with the new 4K Firestick. What has exactly changed? Well, the first thing that's changed is the CPU now is a faster CPU, and Amazon claimed that this is 30% faster than the previous 4K Firestick. And we can see it's the same generation as the previous 4K Firestick Max, just running at a slightly slower clock speed. The next thing that's changed is the RAM. So the previous 4K Firestick came with 1.5 gigs RAM. This new one, as we can see here, comes with 2 gigs RAM. And probably the last big change is the fact that the new 4K Firestick now finally supports Wi-Fi 6. So the previous one only was with Wi-Fi 5, but we know with Wi-Fi 6 you get better speed, more bandwidth, and just an overall better streaming experience compared to the older generation Wi-Fi 5. Now, in terms of negatives, the new 4K Firestick will still only come with 8 gigs of storage, and as you guys know, once Amazon have pushed down their operating system, their standard applications, you only really have about 2 or 3 gigs of space left for your own applications. The other thing to mention is the fact that both these new devices, the new 4K Firestick and the new 4K Firestick Max, or the update, will now come with Fire OS 8. So this is the first time we're seeing Fire OS 8 on these Fire devices, and that comes with Android 11. As you guys know, Fire OS 7 is Android 9 and Fire OS 6 is Android 7.1. Now, moving over to the most powerful Firestick, the 4K Firestick Max, and we can see that's a starting price of $60. I mean, really, for $10 more to get double the storage, I personally think it's a no-brainer. But let's just talk about some of the other new features. So what this one has in terms of upgrades from the first gen 4K Firestick Max, firstly, we see we have a slight upgrade to the CPU. We can see this is the T variant compared to the D variant, which is a slightly lower one. And this one runs at 2 gigahertz. So slightly better CPU and a higher clock speed. And we also get a faster GPU with also a higher clock speed. Now, this is now also rocking the latest standard in Wi-Fi, which is Wi-Fi 6E. So this will really give you the faster speeds, has some of the newer security enhancements, and especially in congested networks, you'll be able to get better performance with Wi-Fi 6E versus the previous generations. And the main highlight is the fact that we finally get 16 gigs of storage in a Fire TV device. Something that should have been there for a long time, especially in their flagship Fire Stick, but we now finally get that 16 gigs of storage. So just a lot more storage for your third-party applications or other applications. This will definitely give you a lot more breathing room than the previous 8 gig. Now, unfortunately, both these devices are still rocking micro USB for their power connector, so it would be nice to get a device in 2023 actually supporting USB Type-C, like for example with the new iPhones. But unfortunately, both these devices will still use a micro USB port. And that just means, for example, if you're going to use an OTG cable with an Ethernet adapter, you'll be limited to that micro USB speed, which is normally USB 2.0. Okay, fine, I jump over to Amazon. So direct on the Amazon website, we can see they're talking about the new 4K Firestick. Some of the things they're talking about, like for example, Wi-Fi 6 is obviously faster than Wi-Fi 5, but not as fast as Wi-Fi 6E if you have a supported or compatible router. Now here we can see what you get inside the box. And this is where I confirm that unfortunately it is a micro USB cable. So I know lots of you are looking for that USB Type-C connection, but unfortunately it's not in here. And we can see in terms of what's new, they're claiming 1.7 gigahertz, which is 25% faster than the previous generation. You get support for that Wi-Fi 6, and it has 2 gigs of memory up from 1.5. So all of that should give you overall a better streaming experience. Typically with more RAM, it just means that you can have more things running in the background and generally just more memory available to help with buffering. We can see they've gone for much more of a rounded, sort of curved style with the new sticks. And here we can see the remote control. So this is the one with the standard 4K Fire Stick, and I will show you the new one with the 4K Fire Stick Max 2nd generation. And here we can see in the specifications, we see that micro USB port. So that's what we're going to get. Let's now jump over to the flagship device. Now, one of the other things that this has is this new ambient experience, which is something that you see on the Android TV, Chromecast devices, whereby when you don't touch the device, you get to see some wallpapers, you get to see the time. And they've now taken this to the next level on the Amazon devices. And it more or less just gives you like an Echo Show kind of experience if you don't touch your Fire TV device. So for the people that like looking at nice screensavers or just information or get some weather alerts, all of that can be added to the home screen only on the new 4K Fire Stick Max, unfortunately not on the new 4K Fire Stick. And just a closer look at these remotes. So on the right, we have the new 2nd generation 4K Fire Stick Max, and compared to the new 4K Fire Stick, which does have the extra media buttons, it does have the button for live TV, but comparing that to the new 4K Fire Stick Max 2nd generation, we also get some extra buttons here for settings. We also get another button here for recent, so you can quickly navigate your recent applications. And overall, you can just see the remote control just looks a bit more bigger and very, very similar or probably identical to what you get with the 3rd generation Fire TV Cube, as you can see here. Looking at some of the features here, we can see they're talking about Wi-Fi 6E, even faster, next generation streaming. And here we can see some of the ambient stuff. So we can see the weather, we can see some wallpaper there, and we can also see some meetings or event info. So all of that's included with the 4K Fire Stick Max 2nd generation. And we're talking about features. They mention about the 2 GHz quad-core processor, even more storage with that 16 gigs of storage, and you get the Wi-Fi 6E to support even more smoother streaming. So the question is, would I, Tech Doctor UK, personally recommend you buy these devices? I would say if you've got the original 4K Fire Stick, I personally would spend $10 extra and go for the 4K Fire Stick Max, because with those $10 extra, you're getting this very, very important 16 gigs of storage, just to minimize any complications or problems in the future with either trying to uninstall applications or trying to expand the storage or finding USB drives or buying OTG cables. Just spend the extra dollars now and get that 16 gigs of storage baked into your product. And with the extra storage, you get the extra breathing room. Now, if you're somebody that's got the 1st generation 4K Fire Stick, I would also recommend that you update to the latest one. If you don't care about the extra storage, you don't care about Wi-Fi 6E, then even the newer 4K Fire Stick will give you that extra RAM, extra 500 meg. You'll also benefit from Fire OS 8, which means you'll be able to install newer applications. Like for example, my Cache Killer only works on Fire OS 7 and higher. If you wanted to use that, you can definitely use that on the new 4K Fire Stick. They're the new devices, guys. Do leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. Are you somebody that's got a previous generation Fire Stick? Are you thinking about updating? Are you somebody that's going to go for the flagship with extra 16 gig storage? You should. Or are you somebody that's completely forgotten about Fire Sticks and found comfort in the arms of Android TV? Do leave me a comment below. Let me know, and I'll hopefully catch up with you guys real soon. Thanks.